next. They donate them
Oh,
to use. I don't know how much they are to rent, but.
they're not bad. American Pipe has them.
Sunbelt and Calspawn.
All right.
Okay, Tim,
What's for Rose Nest? Okay, I did get a price back from Mike Wolf to do the concrete and to move the conduit. And I'm gonna find his email. So for a 14-foot by 14-foot concrete pad with a 12-inch thickened edge, 5-inch slab, let's see. New concrete pull boxes for electrical and communication runs. He said the lines will come up at the pad exterior, so he hasn't told me what the interior, because we're gonna want to put some electrical, some outlets inside. But he said, well, he does have a panel, an MC cable inside, minor rough-in. Okay, so he does have some wiring inside. 16,940. That would be added on to, I believe it was 34,000 for the actual shed from the shed center. So now we're up to a little over 50. And then we're gonna wanna add cameras, or a camera, or that came with the timing system, I'm assuming.
I would think.
Yeah.
Probably a couple speakers and a microphone for somebody, so there might be another 2 or 3, 4,000 bucks. So 55 maybe for a budget. And I guess the question there was, is there enough of that left in the contingency number? Which I believe there is. I think they said there was probably around 100,000 in the contingency.
Right.
So I guess my question is, I can total all this up, put it on a spreadsheet, send it in for board, and then with that, say how much is left in the contingency, so then they can make a decision to move forward or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Then we
that-
just paid by the system for the actual system for 20.
Yeah.
For the actual
Isn't
timing
that-
system.
timing system. Isn't that?
Okay, so, but I will get the information on that, hopefully early next week. When's the board meeting cutoff for that?
When is the next?
I don't even know when the next board meeting is.
The
April 23rd. Oh, the 30th?
22nd.
Okay, so I'll just plan to get it to you guys next week, so.
Ellen should be, because
Yeah, but
I talked to him about where I located, where it conduit runs across the track, on the west side. And if I talked to Latrell and he's right there. And so I thought it was a rush too. And Ellen said, well, hold on, first it was May 8th, track meet, now it's moved up to May 1st. And he said that Bank's gonna bring their timing system up, we just have to have electrical on that side. So,
On the side where it isn't right now? Or is it
Yeah,
okay to have?
on
it
the west side.
No, on the side that there isn't any.
Yeah.
So that needs to get moved then
Yeah.
soon? Okay.
They're just for this first track meet, May 1st, that's what they're wanting is just have power to that side.
So is that something that, because it's in Sletton's price to do it, we wanna,
And the
if the
trails,
board meeting's not until the 28th?
Yeah, 30th.
30th.
So it'd be the day after that, we need it done.
So that's the issue, if we're gonna need to get it moved ahead. Maybe we could pull that out of Sletton's number and just have them do it.
Yeah, we could possibly do that, if he's there and willing to do it. Run a conduit over there to where it goes, and
last week when I talked to them.
probably the smartest thing to do.
And I would get Kellen there to make sure he knows
Uh-huh.
exactly where it's coming up, so we don't put it in the wrong spot. Okay. Okay. Stadium update. I have a drawing that I think I showed you all last, is that what we're talking about? Is that wind wall? On the stadium update?
No, I don't think so, I thought we kind of stopped that for now.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we don't really need a stadium update?
The hand railing's been
Oh,
completed,
baseball.
the hand railing been completed in the
Stadium.
in the announcer stand. completed and the handicap areas on both sides of the chairs been done.
Okay,
Okay. The bleachers themselves are supposed to ship on the 23rd now or 22nd,
It's supposed to appear the week of the 29th.
and they would be here on the 29th to install, is what Montana School Equipment told me.
And then then the baseball field's complete,
Yeah.
short of dugouts or dugouts are in,
We're getting,
they're
put
working
in
on
right now.
this now.
okay?
They're framing them up. And putting that old roof and the sides on next week,
Okay,
but I don't think they'll be ready for the home games.
Saturday.
Yeah,
So next Saturday, they're shooting for.
so to be done by next Saturday?
No, that's their
first.
first home game.
Oh. Okay, well, darn it.
Girls softball's first game is tomorrow and Saturday. Field's ready.
Thank you. Master plan extension.
Uh,
The BES building.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
They installed everything. And they're working on the graphics. And when that's completed, they're gonna train our two boiler operators. It's no different than the rest of the buildings. But they did find, he said 5 to 6 controllers that'll need to be replaced, and he's getting me a price. I thought there'd be more than that.
So are we gonna bring Travis or a tech person in on this, learning that system? I really think we should. It's all technology. So I think if we could get a tech person involved.
Good idea.
And I thought you were having Travis involved when you were doing all the others. Did you make sure you guys had the right setups?
Yeah, when we did Noppy, we had to update our systems.
When I had asked, when we were at Mina and the water was leaking from Toledo, Kyle had said that when he checks the boilers in the morning, he doesn't check them from his home or from his phone remotely. He
Yeah.
comes to work and checks them.
Yeah.
We have the capacity to check them remotely, right?
Yeah, but he prefers not to, he said he'd rather see what's going on.
Yeah, and that's fine. I was just wondering, like with pulling Travis in, to be able to check, have the capacity to just really be able to check them remotely if needed to.
I know the tribe, they have boarding school, and they're able to look on their phones to see.
See that it don't work?
But now,
They hadn't worked in like 9 months, so. They got 2 big boilers down there.
but yeah, I questioned him too, and that's what he said, he'd rather come in and, see what the buildings are doing.
Okay,
It's probably wise, really and truthfully, especially on cold days.
Mhm.
yeah.
Tomorrow, you probably don't need to, but
So, Tim, Jen and I have been working on components of the 20-year master plan. We did reach out to IHS, to the state to get local and countywide birth data
Okay,
to, do some projections in terms of student enrollment
okay,
out a little ways. So we're working on that, updating our test scores, things like that, when updated the budget information, and a few other things. So we're working on some of the components that we can on our end.
okay. How about on our end, are you gonna want us to get involved, like with talking to admin folks or the principals eventually, and not yet, not ever? James.
I did meet with the principals and just ask them to start, making a list of,
Okay,
things, projected needs for their buildings in terms of maintenance. And so, yeah, I think there's a place for that. Maybe we could do that like in June before they leave
Sure.
for the summer, something like that.
okay. And what we've done the other 2 times we did this, let them have say, and then we brought that to the facilities committee. And the facilities committee then prioritized. They thought, well, that's a good idea, or yeah, but that's not gonna happen for 10 years, or yeah, that needs to happen next year. And then we did priority 1, 2, and 3 based on what admin came up with and whatever you all came up with.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sounds good.
and then the Browning Elementary School bleachers, I got an email from Aaron with Montana School Equipment also. And they're not supposed to be in until June, ordered in June, and they're planning to get it here, I think, third week in June to install.
I talked to him yesterday,
Yeah,
guess what? Our last day of school was, I told him he plans on being here that next week.
oh, we did it right after school gets out. Okay, good.
Is that a gym that's not gonna be used during summer?
Gonna have to be,
It's not, so I actually
Buffalo
have
High.
met with everybody. We're keeping a document and everything and summer school programs at Numpy. And the high school, summer school, is all at the academy. And then at the high school, and middle school, they're only using the gym and the weight rooms for evenings.
Food service update, I got emailed to me from Mike this morning also, just to wanted to have something there. They're working through final on pretty much on the occupied spaces. Final hardware, door hardware installations happening now. They're gonna install the accordion door. I don't know if they started yet on that. It's probably next week.
No.
The accordion door between the kitchen and the Roberts space, where we're gonna do the space.
Startup.
Starlab, yeah. Still waiting on some exterior side light glazing. You can see when you drive around there, there's some plywood on the doors. They're waiting on the windows. TC Glass had to reorder the material. They must have ordered in the wrong glass or something. They've got a walkthrough with us, hopefully scheduled for next week on like a 99% punch list is what they're hoping, so. In the warehouse side, they're working on the condensers and final hookups for the food service equipment. They sized the pads. J&D is the company that's doing the big cool walk-in coolers. And they gave them a wrong dimension on the concrete pads that the condensers are supposed to sit on, so they're making them bigger now, slutting is, before they put them in place. They're adding a new double door in the hallway and a new exterior van door in the garage. So this is something that we've been talking about for 6 months. We've got the garage doors that go into the space where the vans are gonna park for food or whatever and IT, but there's really no man door exiting out of that space. There is an exit that would go into the warehouse, but it pretty much makes it so to come there, you have to go into a garage door to get into that space. So Roger's been pushing to add a pedestrian person door next to the garage doors. And there's contingency money to do it, so we don't have to go back to the board to ask for money to do it, but it really does make sense to add it. And then not only that, it's a safety issue, that if there's ever a fire in the building, you can't expect people to go through a garage door. It has to go out a regular door. So they're adding that door now. They cut the little spot for it, there's an opening there. That'll probably be done in the next couple of weeks, so. And then, let's see. Overall, fencing potentially next week. So they're adding some fencing out there in I guess be the south side where eventually there could be a garden. And then they're gonna finish, hopefully start back on the arbor outside on roofing as soon as they get all these other things done. But they're trying to get the main building done first and then, cause then you guys can start moving stuff in. The arbor can maybe wait until they're done with the building itself. That's kind of what they're thinking. But it's looking good. We're all.
We had the state fire marshal was here yesterday for his inspection. All we have to do is add fire extinguishers, 3 in the building.
It's really nice building.
Numpy roof.
Did we hear 2 weeks ago and completed the punch list. And we just came from over there looking at the drain, the drain that doesn't drain, it's backflowed. We had the plumber come look at it. He thought he could reduce it to a 4-inch line and have enough drop. And still not enough.
It looks
It's
like
still backflowed.
we're gonna have to get into the hallway and go all the way to where the lines drop vertical down. But it's the drain that's been there. I'm assuming it's been that way since it was built in the early, whatever, 1900s.
Yeah.
Well, no, because it's PVC pipe, but in there, but so it's been repiped sometime along the way. But it's
Yeah.
been negative drainage forever.
Yeah, he said when he drained that line, when waste gallons, 40 gallons, he emptied it 4 to 5 times. So hell of a lot of water
Yeah, you don't
And
necessarily
it's
want
been-
that sitting
been
there
in
all the
there
time.
for-
No,
forever.
But he thinks he can do it if he gets out into the hallway, so I guess Roger's gonna try and talk, or you're gonna try and talk to him to get him back here. It's Cody, is the
Yeah.
plumber.
Dry Fort plumbing.
This is additional to what they were doing.
This one would be, but I still assume that between all of Sutton's projects and contingencies that are out there, that they could probably absorb it, if that's what you guys want them to do, so there's not another change order or something for it. I don't know.
I guess we need to make sure what that number is before we start spending money.
That sounds good. Let's get a price from Cody to do the work.
Yeah, because the board would still have to approve it, even if we're taking it out of another pot.
Sure.
It's a new.
The roof looks good though. I was kind of really impressed with, because we ended up doing a system where we had the existing modified built-up roof. And instead of tearing that completely off down to the deck and then coming back in with insulation and roofing, there's a system now that you can put an EPDM over the top of the modified, as long as it's in decent enough shape to do that. And it saved about $800,000
Yeah.
and it looks good. The roof looks good and it's got a good warranty still. And it saved having the building wide open to the elements through the whole summer. I mean, there were certain spots where they had to cut and we still had some water, but not anything like the whole roof.
no.
No, they did a good job, I thought.
Yeah,
And who's the roofer?
Centimark.
buildings.
Could that be one that you have for the board meeting too,
Um,
on the,
the actual drain, if he could get back to us with a number by then, can you ask him?
No, I've tried.
He hasn't been calling back.
I don't,
I'll
it
have
just
Ro-
sounds like it's
see
a
if Roger can-
project that should
Yeah,
happen
When,
quickly,
damn sure when school's out, right?
right?
yeah.
But
we
I
could
mean, that's a
improve.
month, right?
Yeah, they get
Before
up,
school's
yeah,
out.
so we could get it up.
It'd be nice to get it done this summer.
Yeah,
Um, so maybe Roger can push him to see if we can get a price.
Yeah,
out of him.
I'll talk to Roger.
Okay. And next up is stairway at Sped. So when we were here last week or last month, we went out and walked it and talked a little bit about putting a stairway on the outside of the building instead of on the inside of the building and what that would be. It can definitely be done, but it's gonna be more money, of course, because we're gonna have to do a foundation, building walls and a roof versus just cutting a hole in the inside. It comes down to the question of how much are you okay to lose inside the building with a stairway? You lose an office out of doing the stair. If I can share this screen, I have to figure out how to do that.
I don't know, I'll share your screen.
Well, there used to be, oh, here it is, share. It's coming up. Okay, there it is. So these are the two options. You can see, I gotta get rid of this. One option would be the one that I showed last week. Why is that still there?
Rebecca has.
Oh, okay, got it. So one option was, this is what I showed last time I was up here, cutting the stair on the inside of the building. And don't know why I don't have the other one. I think that, hold on a second, sorry. I think I just have a whole completely different file for the other one now. I'm sorry. I'm gonna show you Tammy right now. I drew it yesterday, but for some reason didn't save it in this file, but so instead of having the stair here, what we talked about is adding a stair out here. So where this door exits, you'd actually come from downstairs, walk up 4 stairs, turn the corner, and then take a stair up and turn the corner here. And there's a window right here that we could pretty much use as an opening. So it's just the expense of building 1, 2, 3 walls and a roof and a stairway out there. But we're gonna have to do a foundation, and I'm still probably thinking you probably have $70,000 or $80,000 easy into that to put it outside. So then the question is, interior work maybe is more like 30, but it's gonna lose space to do it. I could get Sletton to give me costs on both. Or you all
Is there
could say,
any windows in that basement at all?
No,
I
No.
don't believe so, no. What are you thinking if there was?
Apartment.
it floods,
The basement does flood?
It seeps to the foundation
yeah, it seeps.
on the south side.
Are you looking for apartment space for a teacher now or something?
Well, I mean, always.
Just trying to use it for something other than what it is now.
So yeah, that helps. That gives us an estimate.
And
We-
two
we don't-
different options.
Yeah, we don't have to do it.
Neither is gonna happen this year.
Yeah, they're not gonna happen.
And I apologize that I don't have that other drawing. I can email a PDF of both.
Okay.
But yeah, it'd definitely be more money, but it will make it obviously more, the interior is more visible. if you do a stair.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm trying to remember what's all downstairs in that building. There's like 2 offices on that south
There's the
end.
IT.
The whole north side's
servers
IT,
down there.
storage and
Our filing are outdated, no, well, they're not outdated, they're just past sped students that we have to, records that we have to keep for so many years. Are done there. Curriculum, special education, so it's mostly storage.
Yeah, storage for the most part.
so the next one is actually light poles and transformer at the new food service building road.
Well, the Glacier Electric, they're still waiting for the right of way. The easement.
I thought Jimmy signed that the other night.
He did say it. Oh, okay. I'll ask Carly. He did sign it.
And we've already discussed the flooring in Bonachat.
You're not talking about the overall flooring though?
No, just them 2 classrooms.
Just the classrooms, okay. Cause I did get some rough pricing on new flooring Tony was asking for. And the last time we discussed maybe going with the cheaper option of the vinyl tile that's currently in there now. But it's, according to Billman's, it's gonna be roughly the same cost as an LVT now.
Okay.
And the LVT, luxury vinyl tile or luxury vinyl plank is a better floor, long-term better floor. You don't have to wax it. But it's gonna be about $10 a square foot no matter what we do. And so this drawing, I just quickly put together the square footages of the individual areas. If you wanted to take off and do one piece every year or something instead of the entire, but it gets pretty spendy. There's a lot of square footage of flooring that Tony wants to have done.
Well, is it even feasible to do an LVT in a classroom? Wouldn't it be loud?
No, I mean, it's got,
They
there's,
have rugs and, I mean, they have rugs and their classroom materials absorb a lot of sound, but like the carpet in the classrooms are just gross.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'll agree to that.
Right.
I'm
If you're
never
comparing
a
that-
carpet guy.
if you're comparing that to a vinyl tile, it shouldn't be any worse. It should be maybe a little better, because there's always little, if you do like the wood look like we've done in Navi, it has a little bit of up and down. it's gonna absorb maybe a little better than vinyl tile, but it's a hard surface.
Yeah,
Compared to carpet, it's gonna be louder. But right now, they've got carpet in some areas and tile in some areas, but the carpet's gross.
yeah,
So those are the areas that she wanted to be retiled and.
What's gonna happen with the chairs and tables sliding across those floors?
The LVP will hold up pretty well, and look at does Nabi have any major issues with chairs? I don't think so. The vinyl tile, that does tend to scratch, that's not a very good product though, and that's why nobody's using it anymore.
Okay.
And Bellman's was really saying, we really think you should do an LVP instead of a vinyl tile.
well, and Billman's has treated us right every time we go to them, right?
Yeah.
They might not be the cheapest bid, but they always seem to end up finishing our projects.
Yeah, this size of a project though, you're gonna have to bid.
Yeah,
If
oh,
you
yeah.
decide to do it all, or if you pieced it up, you could maybe get a couple verbal quotes and just do a couple classrooms a year or a section a year. You decide to.
So there's 8,000 square feet in that upstairs on the south of wing, huh?
Yeah.
I guess I don't realize it's that big, but that's,
Yeah. Cause they're talking hallway there too, and each classroom is roughly not 30 by 30, but 26 by 32 or whatever. I mean, so 800 to 900
Yeah.
square feet, so. So, but I can email this to you also, Rebecca, if you want.
well, and that's something we could absolutely work on, and they could out of their own budget too, if they wanted to. Some classrooms,
Sure. And
but
I
I do
guess,
think we should talk to the insurance company about the 2 units at Frozen Broke.
and try.
And the flooring and the walls, and,
That's 4 classrooms.
yeah, that's 4.
And they were ones that we were gonna replace
Yeah.
anyway.
Mhm.
And I don't know what them units are costing now.
For a brand new unit.
Have you done any lately?
I haven't priced them out. We've definitely done them in places, but we can find that out pretty quickly as to what that cost would be. Were they brand new units that
No.
replaced them? No.
They're shit old. The one had been welded 25 years ago by my dad, and then I welded it again.
Okay, but can you you're not gonna get insurance to buy a new unit, just.
Try to, they Frozen Broke,
Okay. Try.
you know, what, right? I mean, cause I'm not having any luck getting radiators for them.
Well, and that's the other problem. You can't get replacement parts.
Huh, so, I mean, if it'd work out that way, it'd absolutely be the way to go about it.
Sure.
So. It was that big. And we talked about the,
What we're talking about, buying up in that unit that was in the kitchen,
Yeah,
Morrison Marley over here, that's what they're gonna come back to the food service.
yes,
Have them look at that,
okay,
remember that, because
Yeah.
that feeds the,
yep, and so we're getting cold air.
that's why it froze on.
Okay, I'll make sure that's on
oh,
there.
KW, right?
Vinyl, the vinyl kitchen. That feeds the boiler room, clean air.
Fresh air froze the,
Same that feeds the unit in the kitchen.
So the other
That
thing-
was a brand.
yeah. Talk to Morris and Marley, and I know they're against going to 100% glycol mix.
Mm-hmm.
But what do
Only
they think
because-
about a 10% glycol mix?
Oh, I see. I don't know. I'm gonna ask.
I'm just thinking if we could even get the temperature down to,
Yep,
you know,
where it helps a little bit
yeah,
before it freezes.
10 degrees or 0, cause I don't think we ever actually get to 0 in any of them locations. You know, where that stuff is at, so, and a 10% mix could potentially get that, and it shouldn't thicken it up too much.
Not much. Okay, I'll ask.
Oh, RV antifreeze, I hear people doing that all the time now in these big outdoor boiler systems. The wood boilers, they're just buying that cheap 30 below RV antifreeze,
Really?
yeah.
Okay, I'll ask him about
And
that.
it's just a mix,
They're probably gonna say that they're
You're
not gonna
crazy.
guarantee anything.
Yeah, yeah. But they might have some input on that too.
Yeah, no, I'll ask. I'll let you know.
Cause I think a 50-50 mix gets you to about 35 below
Really?
and 100% is 100 below,
Mhm.
but it's like pouring tar.
Right. Okay, I know. And the Napi football lights, we kind of talked a little bit about that. I just don't think it's advisable to try and move them.
You know, they might work around the softball field, cause it's little,
Even that's bigger than a football field though.
is
I
it?
believe. Yes, square
I
footage.
think so.
It's weird because of the way it's shaped, it doesn't look like it is.
But the lights would be
They'd be closer
corners.
in, they'd be closer in, but then you come down to equal. So
I
if you're
know,
putting lights on the girls' field, you gotta put lights on the boys' field too, I think. Just
probably.
because of the, whatever that title or whatever it is. What is it? Title,
Title IX.
something, Title IX, yeah.
Discrimination.
Yeah. So I don't know you wanna do that. Plus, if you're moving soccer, maybe they could have night games at Malcolm.
Mhm.
We ain't moving soccer. We didn't build that thing to move them.
I hear
We know, play on turf. The softball players and baseball players like to play on real dirt too, but they don't have that option here.
Reed, how about the gym roof at the high school? Where are we at this spring with that?
Oh. Well, I got a hold of him a couple of weeks ago. When the weather was nice. See what his schedule was, and he was busy at the time, finishing up a project that he's behind on. And since I seen it on the agenda, I've been trying to call him this week and he hasn't responded. I don't know if he's busy working.
Hopefully you got the parts.
And he does, well, that's what he had told me. He's got the roofing panels. He's already purchased them, so,
We paid him for it.
yeah,
Just needs to get here and do it now.
yeah.
Well, we still got a month before he's gonna do that,
Mhm.
unfortunately, cause them are big sections.
you.
Yeah.
32.
Alright. Okay.
Another topic is Browning High School, one of the boilers that are ATS that come around every spring and service their units. But they have a boiler that's, he said the control panel was fried on it. He didn't know what happened. We had a power surge or something cause it. And I told him, give me a price on it, take for a new control panel, and he said, he got back with me a couple weeks later and said, we're better off just going with the new boiler.
Really?
At the high school?
And these are in the original high school boilers, not the addition that was done for the,
The
Oh,
original.
oh, in the addition?
No, the
Oh,
original.
okay, gotcha. Which was 05,
There's four,
06.
yeah, there's
20
four,
years old.
there's four of them,
So what make are they?
the lock and bar, the
Well, they are the big nobles,
Noble, don't sound familiar.
Lock and Bar Knights.
It might be it. It's not the crest.
No, the crest is really
Yeah.
we don't wanna do them if we can help it. Too complicated.
Oh, that's what we got at middle
Oh,
school.
goody,
Fine.
they're complicated. But we should start if we can do it, we should go to whatever we have everywhere else.
What's a new boiler? Did they say?
Kyle figured 50 to 60,000.
Yeah, cost probably 25, 30. Just bare minimum cost. But a control panel is how much?
Well, he said the wiring and everything was fried on it, but he showed me the board and yeah,
So it's more than the control panel. In the end, he's gonna have to do a lot more messing around to get one for it.
Yeah.
Well, they are 20+ years old now. And so boilers, are what are they supposed to last? 25 years? 20 to 25?
20, 25.
Old ones, 100?
Right. new ones.
You know, yeah, new ones. You're lucky if you get 10 years out of them, unfortunately. I'm changing out some at the courthouse right now that are 10 years old.
Or make,
Well, McLean's.
that's kind of-
If we have to get a new one, does that mean this automation system's gonna be different too?
Sure.
There's two, that they could still go on with
They have
that.
they have a contract with ATS, they service,
So they can either way, okay.
they come in quarterly and with all the high school system.
Would ATS actually replace the boiler too, or would they sub it out to somebody, or?
They'd probably sub it.
I'll leave them go,
Okay,
You should give me some numbers.
yeah,
I can tell you what the cost is.
okay.
Like, I do have that ability. Cause are them 300,000 BTU boilers out?
I don't remember, 20 years ago. We can find out real quickly. I can tell you, I can ask
Oh, yeah.
tomorrow.
Well, Reed, I'm sure has model and serial number right there. He tell us. Besides that, we have anything else to talk about? Chantel, you're sure quiet. You have your hearing aids on?
Keep up with the minutes.
I do have one
So let's
question.
talk in.
One question, and it's just because I haven't heard it, the KW Jim, I know the repair on the accident, but about the structure. Have we got anywhere with that piece of it? It's-
On the brick itself.
Yeah,
So,
well, Sletton said that Anderson hasn't, they're busy working up at the apartments. Anderson Masonry, that's who was gonna do the repair work. So Roger said, as soon as they're done with the baseball field and the track, food service, they're gonna.
So we're
they're gonna
still
come
not
back.
using it though, for the kids, right?
Yeah, they're,
Yeah.
The interior.
It's just the brick. It's just the exterior masonry.
Oh, that's,
Yeah.
The inside stuff.
it is.
okay. That's what I just hadn't heard anything in a while, so I can't remember, I couldn't remember. if I missed it.
Sletton is gonna come back and repaint the. Cause it's already,
Good.
some of the paint's already coming off.
They weren't happy with the quality of the paint job, because anytime a ball hits it or something, it was scratching the paint, so.
Nice, when they come back to do the brickwork, they're gonna repaint it.
What kind of paint would you use on that?
Looks like a cement board siding on the interior. So I'm assuming it's a latex of some sort, but, it sounds like maybe they just did one coat,
Oh,
so
didn't do a very good job.
I don't think so.
There's a lock and bar copper fin.
Oh, okay.
Copper fin too.
I got the best walking bar dealer in the country.
I'll let you know. And then the handrail at KW or in between KW and Vida on the sloped hallway, they're supposed to do that as soon as school gets out. And then the signage came in for Vida and KW. And Roger has all the signs and they're gonna start putting them up, I think, in a couple weeks. So this sign out here, if anybody noticed, it's crooked.
No, I didn't notice. I didn't even know there was a sign.
Have a look at it.
I will.
They
It's
were,
crooked.
they were doing it today.
They were.
So Roger ran them off the site, it sounds like, and he's gonna fix it tomorrow, but it sounds like they were swearing or something, Epcot
Who was
guys
doing
were. He said he kicked them off.
Oh, there's two kids from Langer out there and I've seen it and asked them, is that level? And that level was sitting on the ground and he said, yeah, it's level. Don't you think we want to run it a level? I said, well, that window's not level, man. Then after they left, well, when they said, after they had it fastened to the little screw to the wall. You see the big gap in there?
No, I didn't even notice the
They
sign,
ran
so.
it tight to the wall.
It's like sitting like this off the wall too, so the top screw is like probably an inch that it's hanging out from the wall. And I
So
guess
hopefully
they
the
figured it was
window blow
done.
tonight?
Gee, I hope
Oh,
not.
don't say that.
Tom McKay
The west-
noticed
the
that
west
as soon as I was walking in the door,
The
Tom said,
west, the
hey, your
west,
sign is crooked. I said, I know.
Yeah, I haven't gone out to look at it.
I didn't see it either.
the lights.
Oh, the lights work anyway, huh? So the cord, the light cord will hold it there, the power wire.
So that'll hopefully get
Underneath it.
And hopefully if it does come down, it doesn't bust the window.
You didn't give me a chance, if your sign is crooked, I know.
But yeah, it's like we called Epcon and they're not gonna charge them for the installation price, so it should be
Okay.
a little cheaper.
Good,
Oh my goodness.
okay.
Because someone said, is maintenance doing it? And I said, how is maintenance gonna climb ladders and hold that at the same time? They had the cherry picker thing on that truck, so.
I see all signs that are in town, doing all kinds of stuff,
Really? Yeah, I don't know for what.
When they're doing their college.
college, I had them fix mine.
Okay,
Okay.
anything else?
Nothing else from me. Now being you do, right?
Yep.
You brought paper in here.
Nope.
Nope.